Sarah's hands trembled as she stared at the eviction notice taped to her apartment door. The bold red letters seemed to mock, "Here are 30 days to pay $2,400 or face homelessness with her 6-year-old daughter, Emma." She pressed her back against the cold hallway wall, fighting tears that threatened to spill. This wasn't how she'd imagined her life would turn out when she'd proudly walked across that graduation stage 5 years ago, diploma in hand, ready to conquer the world. But cancer doesn't care about dreams or plans, and after her husband David's 2-year battle ended in defeat, Sarah found herself drowning in medical debt and struggling to keep their small family afloat. With Emma at school, Sarah sat on their threadbare couch, surrounded by past due bills and rejection letters from every loan company in the city. Her phone buzzed a text from her sister Lisa, who lived 3 states away. "I wish I could help, but with Mum's nursing home costs." Sarah understood. Everyone was struggling. She scrolled through her contacts, desperate for anyone who might lend her even a fraction of what she needed. Her finger hovered over a name she hadn't called in months, her old college friend Marcus Williams. He'd always been generous, the type to buy lunch for the whole table without thinking twice. Maybe, just maybe, he could help. With a deep breath, she composed what felt like the most humiliating text of her life. "Hi Marcus. I know it's been forever, and I hate to ask, but I'm in a really bad spot. Emma and I are about to be evicted, and I don't know where else to turn. Could you possibly lend me $2,400? I promise I'll pay you back as soon as I can. I'm so sorry for reaching out like this." She hit send before she could change her mind. Across town, tech entrepreneur Marcus Johnson was in the middle of a board meeting when his phone buzzed. He glanced down, expecting another message about the acquisition deal his company was finalizing. Instead, he found a desperate plea from someone named Sarah, a complete stranger. He read it twice, his heart sinking with each word. Eviction. Single mom. A little girl named Emma. Marcus had built his software company from nothing, turning a college dorm room idea into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. But success hadn't made him forget what it felt like to worry about rent money. His own single mother had worked 3 jobs to keep a roof over their heads when he was Emma's age. He knew that desperation, that crushing weight of responsibility. The logical thing would be to simply reply that she had the wrong number. But something about the raw honesty in her message stopped him. Here was someone who'd swallowed her pride to ask for help from what she thought was a friend. The vulnerability in those words, "I'm so sorry for reaching out like these," hit him like a physical blow. Marcus excused himself from the meeting and stepped into his corner office overlooking downtown. Through his floor-to-ceiling windows, he could see the city sprawling below, thousands of people facing struggles he could only imagine. But today, he had a name. He had a specific need. He had the power to change one family's entire trajectory. He didn't text back. Instead, he called his assistant. "Cancel my afternoon meetings. I need you to help me track down someone." It took his team exactly 47 minutes to find Sarah Mitchell and her address. Marcus spent those minutes pacing his office, thinking about his mother's calloused hands, about the nights she'd cried quietly in the kitchen when she thought he was asleep, about the Christmas when their heat got shut off and they'd huddled together under every blanket they owned. Sarah was heating up leftover mac and cheese for Emma's lunch when she heard the knock. She wasn't expecting Anania, certainly not the tall, well-dressed man standing in her hallway holding an envelope. "Sarah Mitchell?" His voice was gentle, professional. She nodded, immediately suspicious. "If you're here about the rent, I told Mr. Peterson I need more time here. I'm not here about the rent. My name is Marcus Johnson. You sent me a text message this morning. Sarah's face went white. She'd been checking her phone obsessively, hurt that Marcus hadn't even bothered to respond to her plea. But this wasn't her Marcus, this was a stranger, and somehow that made everything infinitely worse. Oh God, she whispered, covering her face with her hands. I'm so sorry. I must have typed the wrong number. I was trying to reach an old friend and her voice broke. The humiliation was unbearable. A complete stranger had read her most desperate moment, her most private shame. Hey, Marcus said softly. It's okay. Can I come in for a minute? Something in his tone made her step aside. He entered her small apartment, taking in the neat but sparse furnishings, the eviction notice crumpled on the coffee table, the stack of medical bills she'd been trying to organize. You texted the wrong Marcus, he said, settling into the chair across from her couch. But maybe it was the wrong number. Sarah looked up, confused. Marcus opened the envelope and pulled out a cashier's check. This covers your rent for the next year. Sarah stared at the piece of paper, at the amount that would solve not just her immediate crisis but give her breathing room she hadn't had in months. I don't understand. You don't even know me. I know you're a mother who's fighting for her daughter. I know you're brave enough to ask for help when you need it. And I know what it's like to watch your mom struggle to keep the lights on. I can't accept this. But even as she said it, Sarah was thinking about Emma coming home from school, about having to explain why they might have to sleep in the car, about the look of worry that had been haunting her daughter's 6-year-old eyes. You can and you will, Marcus said firmly. But there's one condition. Sarah's heart sank. Here it comes, she thought. The catch. I want you to promise me something. Someday, when you're back on your feet, and you will be, I want you to help someone else who's desperate enough to text the wrong number looking for hope. Tears were streaming down Sarah's face now. Why are you doing this? Marcus stood up, straightening his jacket. Because my mum used to say that we're all just walking each other home. Sometimes we stumble, sometimes we get lost, but we keep walking. And sometimes, if we're really lucky, we get to be someone else's light in the darkness. He headed toward the door, then turned back. Oh, and Sarah, your friend Marcus, the one you meant to text? He's an idiot for not helping you. But maybe now you don't need him to. After he left, Sarah sat staring at the check until Emma burst through the door, backpack flying, chattering about her day at school. For the first time in months, Sarah wasn't mentally calculating how many days they had left, wasn't rationing their last box of cereal, wasn't wondering if she'd made the right choice in every small decision. Mommy, why are you crying? Emma asked, her small face creased with worry. Sarah pulled her daughter close, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. Happy tears, baby. These are happy tears. That night, after Emma was asleep, Sarah found Marcus's business card tucked into the envelope. She looked him up online, reading about his company, his charitable foundation, his interviews where he talked about growing up with a single mom who taught him that success meant lifting others up, not climbing over them. She composed a dozen thank you messages and deleted them all. How do you thank someone for seeing your humanity when you could barely see it yourself? How do you express gratitude for the kind of generosity that doesn't just solve problems but restores faith? Finally, she settled on something simple. You saved us. Someday, I'll save someone else. Thank you for showing me what kindness looks like. His response came immediately. You already know what kindness looks like, Sarah. You just forgot for a moment. Welcome back. 6 months later, Sarah had a new job with better pay and health insurance. A year after that, she found herself in a coffee shop when she overheard a young mother on the phone, crying quietly as she explained to someone that her son needed medicine she couldn't afford. Sarah didn't hesitate. She approached the woman, pressed $200 into her hand, and said simply, "We're all just walking each other home. Sometimes wrong numbers lead to the rightest moments of our lives. Sometimes strangers become the angels we didn't know we needed. And sometimes, the most broken moments become the foundation for the most beautiful new beginnings."